So because it seems like so many people are getting petrified of damaging their metabolism nowadays, I want to give you 5 of the biggest things that do slow down your metabolism, what you can do to help when dieting, but also at the same time I want to give you some good news. You cannot damage your metabolism. Your metabolism becomes suppressed by things that you do during dieting, but all these things can be reversed. And this is the thing, your body is a machine when it comes to adapting, and it desperately wants to stay the same. So before I talk about the 5 biggest things that do slow down your metabolism, I want to talk about the one thing you probably think slows down your metabolism the most, but actually doesn't, and that is just regular age. The aging process alone doesn't slow down your metabolism anywhere near as much as you probably think. Research has shown you only lose about 1 to 2% of your metabolic rate per decade, and almost all of those slowdowns come from loss of lean body mass. Now, of course, if you're someone who's done a lot of extreme dieting, the older you are, the more times you've likely done this, and yes, that will slow down your metabolism more, which actually brings me right to the first point I wanted to make, and that is extreme crash dieting. I know when you go into a fat loss phase, you're anxious to see results, so it can be common to lower your calories dramatically, but this is going to send a huge red flag to your body that it needs to make some adaptations really quick because it thinks that food is scarce and it's going to try to do everything it can to keep you from losing too much body fat. This is why you feel like crap and you're overly hungry, you have no energy levels, libido drops, all kinds of negative things happen from this beyond just the slowdowns you see from metabolism. And when you do this over and over with a yo-yo mentality, it's just a disaster, so don't diet too aggressively. Similarly, the second thing is overdoing cardio in your fat loss phase. Now, I'm not saying that cardio is bad and you shouldn't make it part of your program, you just don't want to rely on it as your main source of burning calories. And the reason for this is your body does a pretty good job of adapting and burning less calories through that activity the more you do it. And the longer you do this, as your body starts to make these adjustments, now you just have to keep doing more and more and more cardio, and you just end up running your body into the ground. Where you don't have that same kind of adaptations with strength training, your body becomes a absolute calorie burning machine from strength training. Between increasing your metabolism through the extra muscle you build, your body burns more calories for up to 48 hours post training as it recovers from this, and it's just by far and away the best mode of exercise there is for fat loss. Now, the third thing that slows down your metabolism more is being sedentary, and that might sound a little confusing. I just talked about how overdoing cardio is not good for your metabolism, but even cardio, while not really optimal for long-term fat loss, is still much better than being fully sedentary. For instance, this study in men showed subjects who did regular cardiovascular exercise had a 7% higher RMR over sedentary, though keep in mind those who did strength training as their mode of exercise had a 15% higher RMR. Now, the fourth thing is making sure you get enough sleep. Lack of sleep can absolutely impact your metabolic rate, and you just have to figure chronic sleep deprivation could do a real number on your metabolism, and there's a lot of research that's shown when you get less sleep, you see less fat loss. There was a whole paper showing how detrimental sleep is on metabolism. If you want to check it out, I'll have all these links in the description. And the fifth thing that will absolutely slow down your metabolism, it's just weight loss in general. Obviously not something you want to avoid if you're looking to lose body fat, but the less you weigh, the less energy that'll be required for your body to function. So as you lose weight, yes, you will see metabolic slowdowns. Even fat itself burns calories. Now keep in mind, muscle is 3 times more metabolically demanding than fat is, but yes, a pound of fat burns about 2 calories per day. But when you really think about that, let's just say for instance, you lost 50 pounds. That's what, 100 calories that you're missing per day. So it's not nearly as much as people make it out to be, and this is why I don't agree with anyone who says any slowdowns you see in metabolism are strictly through the weight loss alone. There's research that have shown when you're in a fat loss phase, the slowdowns you see in your metabolism are usually greater than would be predicted by the fat loss alone. Now, of course, you can reverse diet when you're done, get your metabolic rate back up to where it should be, but it is still going to be less than when you started because of the weight loss you've seen. So with all that being said, what can you do to make sure you keep your metabolism in the best spot possible? Well, first, it starts with being more patient. You got to stop rushing the process and allow things to take as long as they're going to take. And the more extreme you go with things, the worse off you're going to be in the long run. So don't lose more than about 1% of your weight on average per week to make sure you're keeping your metabolism in a good spot. And also implement diet breaks during your cutting phase to help keep your metabolism from adapting quite as much. This way your body kind of gets used to occasionally seeing more food and letting its guard down a little bit. And this will help keep you in a better spot to keep seeing progress better for longer. And while it's not hard rule, I do usually recommend every maybe 4 to 6 weeks or so, but it just really depends on how much you have to lose, how you're feeling, things like that. But if you just keep dieting and never give your body a break, it's going to be more likely to adapt quicker and for you to get stuck. Obviously, based on what I said earlier, you want to utilize strength training as your main form of exercise, and this goes whether you're in a fat loss phase or not. You should always be training, and you just supplement with some extra cardio, but not to extremes, to help create the calorie deficit you're looking for. Then of course, prioritize your sleep, and then whenever you're done with your fat loss phase, whether you've got where you want to be or you're just mentally over it, can't see progress anymore, any reason you're going to stop your diet, you cannot just say screw it and do whatever you want. You will gain weight rapidly. So you want to more gradually increase your calories at the end of your diet, utilizing reverse dieting to get your metabolism back up to where it should be. And if you're not sure how to increase calories or what kind of pace to take, then make sure you check out this top video next, and I'll walk you through that process. Otherwise, I think you'll like this bottom video instead, and I'll see you in one of those other videos.